What is going on, guys? My name is Troy, and in today's video we're going to be doing the full review of the all-new Xiaomi Mi Mix 2S. This is my new phone. I've had it for about 2.5 weeks now. I've had plenty of time to play with it, customize it, go through all the features and things like that, and I'm going to share with you guys what it's like to actually own this phone. I'm going to interrupt myself here for just a second so I can encourage you guys to comment down below any questions you might have on the Mi Mix 2S. I've had this phone for about a month now, and if you're watching this video, then it's likely you might be considering the phone for yourself. So if you have questions like what storage size should I get, or what carriers does it work on, let me know. My channel's not that big, so I'll be able to respond to you guys pretty quickly. Alright, back to the video. Let's get started with what I think is going to be the biggest difference transitioning to this phone, and that's going to be the user interface. The Mi Mix 2S comes with Android 8.0 and MIUI version 9.5 built in. It's similar to how an iPhone works. There are a few gestures built into the phone, similar to the iPhone X. They work really well, but for me personally, I still like having the 3 buttons at the bottom. It's actually quite convenient to just be able to tap the recent apps button twice, and then go back to the app that you had open previously. There are some features that I've seen on other Android phones that this phone does not have, such as being able to swipe down on the fingerprint scanner to open the notification tray. Something else that I found kind of odd was the music app doesn't have a widget. The notification tray for the music app has the play pause button and it has the next song button, but it does not have a previous song button. The only way that you can actually go to the previous song is to either open up the app and then click on Now Playing, or turn off the phone, turn on the phone, and then it's up there at the top. The phone is very fast and responsive, and I've played a couple of games on here like PUBG Mobile and Goat Simulator, and they all run really well. It's kind of hard to have a phone that isn't very fast and responsive in 2018, so this phone is pretty quick, so you don't really notice having a bunch of apps open or things like that. There are a few bugs in the UI. So for example, if I open the Google app, you can see on the top left the time is displayed and it's in black text. And when I go to the home screen, since my background is a darker color, it changes to white. Sometimes it doesn't change color. For example, if I have the settings screen open on Snapchat, I can't see the time because it doesn't change the color. So let's talk about some of the main features of this phone. One of the other big selling points is going to be the camera. This has a dual lens setup, a wide angle, and a telephoto lens. The main camera is the wide angle, and that's a Sony IMX363 sensor. So pretty good pictures out of it. There are some features that Xiaomi kind of sells to us, like the AI. It's kind of useless, to be honest. It just makes the pictures brighter without adding any detail. It just ups the saturation. The HDR function, I think, is better to use if you want to enhance your photos, but the way that it runs stock or in the manual mode is really the way to go. It does have image stabilization on the main camera. It does not have image stabilization on the telephoto lens. Something that's kind of interesting that I noticed is the image stabilization for 720p video and 1080p video is all done digitally. The image stabilization for 4K video is done optically. One thing that did kind of surprise me on this phone is it doesn't have much range in the manual modes. So the ISO doesn't go very high, the shutter speed does not go very high. On my previous phone, the Huawei Honor 8, the shutter speed goes all the way up to 3200 ISO, much higher, and it gave me more range in which to adjust those manual modes. So I'm surprised that the Mi Mix 2S, which should have a more advanced camera and 2 more years of technology built into it, it seems to have less range for adjustments. The 2x optical zoom lens, it's a nice feature to have, but most apps don't recognize it. So Instagram and Snapchat do not recognize the second camera, which in some ways kind of defeats the purpose if you're zooming in on a photo. For me personally, I don't mind the placement of the front-facing camera on the bottom. It doesn't look that odd looking down into the camera, but my hand covers it, and it would have made more sense to either move the camera to the other side or place it right in the middle. The quality though is pretty disappointing. I think it's an 8 megapixel camera. I don't know off the top of my head, it might be 5, but it takes pretty bad pictures. You do need a lot of light to get any detail. The back of the phone is made out of ceramic, so it's a very hard material which doesn't really scratch, so there's not much of a need to use the included case. The back of the phone is covered in a oleophobic coating which helps remove fingerprints. Now the oleophobic coating actually works really well. The downside to that though is the coating does wear off. So on the bottom corner where the phone actually sits down on a flat surface, it's worn out. The other concern that I have is it wasn't really applied very well to the back of the phone. And you can see here, if I get the sunlight just right and kind of wipe my finger across on the edge, you can see where the oleophobic coating begins and ends. So it doesn't actually cover the entire back ceramic of the phone. Probably specific to my unit, an issue in the manufacturing process there. The lens of the camera does extend out slightly from the phone. However, it does make two very obvious points of wear, which is going to be the bottom left corner and the bottom right side of the camera. If I'm cleaning my phone, the fingerprint reader thinks I'm trying to unlock it, and it will make the little vibration beep that it has not recognized my fingerprint until I actually lock the phone to where I have to type in my PIN code. I do like how this phone has wireless charging built in. That is one of the benefits of having a ceramic back on this phone. It does have to be positioned in the exact right place on a wireless charger, or else it will charge at a lower rate. The speaker setup on this phone is pretty interesting. It does do a dual speaker output, so you have the main speaker right at the bottom next to the USB-C, and then you have the headphone speaker up at the top. One thing that I don't like is it splits the audio channels left and right. I wish there was a setting where you can set it to just do mono output and have the earpiece speaker and the bottom speaker play the exact same audio track, but I haven't found one. One thing that I thought was kind of odd about the screen is when I was driving, I was using the maps function, and if the phone is tilted sideways and you're wearing polarized sunglasses, you almost can't see the screen at all. It doesn't matter how bright the screen is. My other phones have been a similar IPS panel technology, and I've been able to wear sunglasses with those just fine. That means if you want to share a video with your friend and you guys are outside, maybe at the park or something, and you turn your phone sideways, if you guys are both wearing sunglasses, it's almost impossible to see the screen. My final thoughts on the Mi Mix 2S is this is a really great phone. I do enjoy using it every day. I do think this is one of the best phones on the market right now, definitely in the top 5, and it's at a great price point right now too. They're around $500 online, and this is for a full flagship smartphone. If you guys have made it this far to the video, please give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment down below what you guys think of the phone, or if you're considering picking one up. And be sure to subscribe. We have lots of great videos coming for you guys, and we'll see you next time.